Good evening. You're listening to WMUC Radio News' weekly roundup for October 3rd, 2022 on WMUC-FM College Park. I'm Barbara Vaughn.
And I'm Lilly Roser. Tonight, we will discuss Prince George's County's new curfew guidelines for minors. We will also learn about UMD's plans to increase the minimum wage for on-campus jobs to be $15 an hour. But first, we will learn about last week's research conference at the University of Maryland.
More research opportunities for the UMD Fire Protection Engineering Program were discussed at last week's Fire and Life Safety Ecosystem Conference. The UMD Hotel hosted workshops and featured speakers for the event.
Since UMD is a research university, event organizer Mike John hopes there will be a chance for topics, especially fire safety with technology advancements, to be researched. The organizers said they want to host the event again in the future, but haven't solidified any plans.
Next up, we have an update about UMD's skateboarding clubs. Because of upcoming construction near the old Leonardtown housing off campus, the clubs are in search for creating a new space. WMUC News reporter Hugo B. has the story.
For the past several months, the university's two skating clubs, We Skate at UMD and the UMD Skateboarding Club, have been collaborating with Recwell in order to get a skate spot built on campus. After months of hard work by members of both clubs, We Skate president Emma Yachman was able to provide us with some updates. In the fall of 2021, We Skate, a skate club specifically aimed at women and LGBTQ skaters, as well as the UMD Skateboarding Club, had been using the abandoned Leonardtown basketball courts as an impromptu skate spot.
During COVID, there's this basketball court there and a wiffle ball court that wasn't really being used because nobody was touching it because everybody I think the UMD the facilities were closed down, so nobody was really using it. It also had a bunch of cracks in it, the basketball hoop got taken down, so nobody was using that space. So we were it's fine if we skate there, nobody's gonna stop us. So we had set up I think they had curb blocks, they had rails, they had ramps, they had a whole really cool spot set up. And everybody was using it. It was a big community space, and we were just skateboarding. We had events there a couple of times. It was super fun.
It was not long before the clubs faced contention. Partway through the fall semester of 2021, a student arrived at the Leonardtown basketball court only to find that the obstacles belonging to the clubs were being confiscated by Recwell in order to make space for housing development. This was followed by several other incidents directed towards skaters throughout the fall of 2021 and into the spring of 2022, including verbal harassment and noise complaints. Reverend Nathan Hill, a local skateboarder and friend to both clubs, was able to put them into contact with Jay Gilchrist, the Director of Recreational Wellness. After discussing the situation with Gilchrist and presenting survey results that highlighted the safety and harassment issues skaters were encountering on campus, all parties agreed that there was a need for a designated skate spot at UMD. This brings us to the more recent updates. Until demolition begins in 2023, the UMD skate clubs have been given express permission from Recwell to continue using the Leonardtown basketball courts as an impromptu skate park. In addition to this, Recwell has been assisting the clubs in purchasing proper equipment, ensuring students have both a fun and safe experience.
But Recwell's been very receptive. We not only talked to him, but some of the workers at Recwell have been oh my god, we'd love for you guys to have your own space. And some of them have been reaching out to us are you sure that this is the right brand that you should buy? No, I think you should buy this brand. It might be safer for you. We want you guys to have the best stuff. And we're no, it's okay. So they've been very sweet, very nice.
While the clubs currently have a designated space, it is only temporary. The demolition of Leonardtown is set to begin sometime in 2023, at which time it will become inaccessible to the general public. Yachman shares that the club's current goal is to find a permanent space.
Mostly the future plan is to get a permanent spot, because Leonardtown is temporary. We will not have it next year. Oh, yeah. And obviously, as we want there to be a skate spot for all the time, our goal this next year and hopefully soon is to find a spot that we can build and make permanently ours.
Yachman has asked that if anyone sees underutilized space on campus that could potentially become a new skate spot, to send the club an email at weskateumd@gmail.com. Along with their weekly sessions, the clubs are hosting an Educate on Saturday, October 15th from 1 to 4 p.m. This event is specifically aimed at new or less experienced skaters who want to learn or improve their skills in skateboarding, roller skating, or rollerblading. Please look to the WeSkate Instagram or GroupMe for further information. From WMCU News, I'm Hugo Hines.
Thank you, Hugo. In an attempt to start the restoration process of the damaged tree canopies after the July 12th storm, College Park's Tree and Landscape Board sponsored a free tree giveaway on Saturday. Residents that registered before September 16th were able to pick up either 1 or 2 trees to plant on their property from the Department of Public Works between 8 a.m. and noon.
On August 29th, President Pines announced in the Maryland Today newsletter that the minimum wage for all student employees would raise to $15 an hour. While the state of Maryland issued the minimum wage increase to take place in 2025, it will be in effect on UMD's campus with an early start of January 1st, 2023.
President Pines has attributed this to the mission of investing in, quote, people and communities, end quote. Minimum wage is currently $12.50 on campus. All students with this university wage should expect to see their paychecks increase by an extra $2.50 per hour at the start of the new year.
Up next, we have information about Prince George's County's new underage curfew mandate. WMUC reporter Jamil Whitlow has the story.
Prince George's County has enforced a curfew for children under 16 years old and younger. The county's goal is to reduce juvenile crimes by having kids home by 10 p.m. on the weekdays. County Executive Angela Also Brooks recommended community centers that have extended hours so children are not out late.
August was the single deadliest month in Prince George's County's history. We have had over 350 carjackings this year, which represents a 52% increase over just last year.
On weekends, children must be home by 11:59 p.m. If a child is out after curfew, an officer will give a warning to the child and their parents. Afterwards, their parents will pay a $50 fine. Fines can increase up to $250. The curfew will last for 30 days, ending on October 8th. I'm Jamil Whitlow from College Park.
Thank you, Jamil.
That's it for your weekly roundup. I'm Barbara Ron.
And I'm Lily Roser.
If you're listening to WMUC News on FM College Park, be sure to follow us on Twitter at WMUC Radio News and like us on Facebook. This show was produced by Alessandra Adams, Hunter Hine, Julia Eisen, and Anton Vandemater. Contributors to this week's show include